On this video, I want to cover a frequently asked question, which is, how many hours do I need to make this business work? This is a question I've heard so many times from not only members, but prospects as well. People are taking a look at the business. And it's an interesting question, and it's one I would like to give kind of three responses to. So, hi, I'm Lucy, and I help business builders to expand their team and scale their business online. Have you ever thought about that? Did you ever ask that question yourself? How many hours do I need to make this business successful? And maybe you even think now, I don't have enough hours, or if only I had more hours, I could be successful. So there are a few things. If I tell it from my story perspective, it sometimes helps. So when I first got started, I treated it very much as a part-time hobby. So with all the hours I had, I wasn't putting a lot into my business. And when I did, it was kind of strung out. So it wasn't particularly focused. And I was working another job part-time. And so if I had understood at that time, and I think this was the key for me looking back and evaluating that, if I had understood at the time what I'm going to share with you now, my business would have blossomed and exploded more than it did, faster than it did, and I would be in a different place now. Now, clearly, that wasn't my journey. My journey is now to look back and evaluate and say, okay, what would I have done differently back then? So when somebody asks me that question, I can come from a place of understanding. I can know what I would have changed, so I can share that in a way that is just my history. It's my story. And if somebody can pick up from that it aligns with them, maybe you're in the same situation, maybe you're working part-time or even full-time, and even with the time that you have, you don't feel like you're getting the traction that you want. And maybe that's because of this first area. So the first area that I would like to look at is the focus that you have in that time. So understanding the time that you do have yourself. And sometimes we just need to cut out the things that aren't being effective for our business. What are the things that we're doing? If we truly want this to be successful as leaders, then what are the things that we're doing that are not towards our business? And maybe that is watching television. Maybe that's watching YouTube. Maybe that's, and it's nothing to do with learning. Maybe that is going out with friends and having a lovely meal or getting drunk or whatever. So all of those things perhaps are not leading us in the direction of our business that we want to go. So there's time that we can use and focus on our business, because there will be times where we just want to push through, totally focus, and life will go out of balance. That work-life balance is something that is always going out of balance, to be able to enable it to get back into balance, which is a whole other subject I'll go into another time. But work-life balance is a kind of a little bit of a myth, but to get the balance, you have to go out of balance. So to have the focus and to say, okay, for 3 months, 6 months, 10 months, a year, I'm going to cut those things out or down. So at the moment, I'm not watching any television. I cut it down to Friday, Saturday, Sunday evenings, and now I don't watch any television at all. If I'm going to watch something, it's going to be training me on doing this, different ways, different methods, different skill sets. So my focus is really tight. So that's the first thing. Know that you want to go the way and that your focus needs to be there. The second thing is what you put into that time. So the actions that you're taking. Now, the actions that you're taking, if we evaluate for ourselves, are those actions that I've been taking, are they effective actions? So I might be taking actions whereby I'm tidying up my office. That might be really focused, and I'm tidying up my office every day. Probably not the most effective thing. Tidying it once a month, every other month, absolutely, so that you can go in, you can get clarity, and you know where everything is. That's going to be effective for the rest of the month or the rest of the 2 months. But every single day when you're going in and you're tidying that office, and using up half an hour or an hour of your time, is probably not the most effective use of your time. So it's what you're putting into that time. So what are your effective actions? And when you know the actions that bring in the results, that bring in the contacts, that warm up your audience, that get you traction and trust and people coming back to you, once you know that, they're the things to put into that time that you have, because they are going to give you the results that you're looking for. So that's the second thing, effective actions. The third thing is, if you're taking actions that you know are going to be effective, the next thing is making sure that you are targeting those actions. So rather than to an audience that is kind of this big, bring it down to an audience that is really focused, because then when you're taking those actions, you are spotlighting those people that you want to touch, those people that you want to inspire, the people that you want coming and asking you, what is happening? What is going on? Can I join you? I'd love to get your products. You look like you're looking fantastic. Whatever your thing is that you are giving value on, they start to come to you because you are talking to them. And by that, I mean using words and language that they would use. So recently, over the last probably couple of months, I found myself kind of expanding that focus a bit. And I was pulled up on that on a call that I did with somebody. And I thought, okay, I've expanded. I want to help everybody, but I know that I can't. So I have to bring it back to that focused audience again, that focus of leaders who have been successful and want to continue to be successful and find ways online, that was my dog, find ways online that they can bring their skills to this space and use them to the best ability. So they're the people that I'm talking to. And if that's you, then fantastic. And if not, that isn't you, then maybe you're looking for somebody else to give you the help and guidance you want. And maybe this is helpful anyway. Only you can decide that. But as a leader, I want to be speaking to other leaders to lift them up even higher and make sure that they are spreading their wings. They are like that butterfly that has been set free, that's beautiful, that goes higher and higher and higher and higher. And everybody looks at it in awe and goes, oh, that is amazing. I would like to be like that. So that's the kind of level, excuse me, that you want to be speaking to your audience. So just to go back over those three things. The first is having your focus time. The second, effective actions. And third is effective actions to the right audience. Make sure you know who your audience are and you have tunnel vision, because it's very easy to get back into that space of, I just want to help everybody. Bring it back to the people that you know you can really speak to because you have that experience yourself. That's the easiest way for me to explain that in very short period of time. So I hope this really helps, and I hope that has given you value. If you want more, click on the links around here. There's a Facebook page you can join. There are free resources you can click on. There is an online book you can order. There's lots of things. So if that helps, then please click on links. I am here to help you to get that leadership going higher and higher and higher. So thank you so much for listening, and have an absolutely awesome day.